if you can unlock certain, you know, like you get one block in every direction if you get a achievement where your world border just continuously, well, not continuously, but it continues to expand with every achievement you get. So it's a pretty straightforward, well, it seems like a pretty straightforward mechanic to program. But I know that was like a big thing that was done for season 5 of Mindcraft, like a decade ago now. I think it was season 5. I don't know, it was one of the last seasons, if not the last season, that Etho and Doc and I don't think Vintage Beef, but it was one of the last seasons that a lot of the early game players played on before migrating over to Hermitcraft. Long after Generic B had left that server, though, is the founding hermit of Minecraft. It's sort of an interesting to see how that has generated such success over the years. And the founding member is no longer a part of it. But then again, I don't know the history. I don't know that aspect of it. Like, I'm sure they had good reasons to step away and leave. Well, that, like, life gets in the way, life gets complicated, things happen. Probably gonna have to go caving again soon. Because I have a decent supply of iron, but not an overwhelming amount. I'm gonna have to put those sticks in the oak chest. I'm just gonna have to have a double chest of oak. Sorry, 2 double chests of oak, so that way you have all the specialty blocks, you have like the sub-genres of oak trees with the azalea. Yeah, we're doing great here, folks. I know how to play this game, I swear. Oh yeah, yep, just keep giving me more of this. This is what I want for sidewalks and path blocks as I push out into... Actually, no, the granite might make for a really nice sidewalk. Or even the polished diorite, because that sort of has a marble look to it. So yeah, the polished diorite might look quite nice as a sidewalk for the uh, Venice-inspired city on the water that I want to build. Because what? Beautiful, beautiful city, by the way. Like, I was fortunate enough to visit uh, with family, as in my family went on holiday to tour Italy back in 2018, and so there was like a day in Venice, and it was beautiful, and getting to actually like walk the streets, the back roads, because obviously in the movies you see the Grand Canal in the center. You see that in like Mission Impossible films and Spider-Man Far From Home and From Russia with Love, and so it's rare that you get to see like the back roads. Like a movie I would recommend watching if you want to see the back roads of Venice. I would recommend watching Series 5, Episode 10 of the 2005 revival of Doctor Who. There's an episode called Vampires of Venice with from the first season with Matt Smith as the Doctor, where they did get to do a little bit of location filming in Venice, and you get to see like a shot of one of the side canals, one of the side roads. But A Haunting in Venice, which came out last year, really captures a lot of the feel of the inner workings of the city beyond the Grand Canal, beyond the side canals, just how cramped and packed in everything is. It's an incredibly claustrophobic city in and that's sort of like that really is the only way I can describe it. There's some areas of it that are big and expansive and beautiful, and then there's like an unbelievable amount of the area that is so small and claustrophobic. It's amazing. It's so tightly built and developed over the decade, centuries. Where you have these churches, and you have Renaissance era architecture that's meant to mimic classical architecture, but of course you're in the heart of Italy, so you have actual classical architecture. So that could be funny in a lot of different ways. That was certainly one of the more comedic aspects of Rome, was seeing the Renaissance era architecture right next to the classical architecture that literally inspired the Renaissance era architecture. It makes it really funny. It's like, you know, in the United States, we have so many modern buildings that were designed to mimic classical architecture. You know, not, like the U.S. Capitol building is an excellent example of this, where it's meant to look like ancient Roman architecture, with the columns and the grand scale, and it literally housing a senate. It's like it's not right next to an actual building from ancient Rome. Meanwhile, there are statues and public fountains from the 1400s and 1500s and 1600s that were designed to mimic ancient Roman architecture, and it's literally like a block away, 2 blocks from the Pantheon, Parthenon, Pantheon, the only fully preserved building from the era of the ancient Romans, because it was a continuously functioning church. So it's the Pantheon. Yeah, it's the Pantheon. It's the one with the big domed roof. And this building has stood there for over 2,000 years, and it's absolutely amazing to have been able to see that with my own eyes in person. And the history of it is also fascinating, how it started out as a polytheistic temple, like anything else that's over 2,000 years old. Well, outside of Jerusalem, anyway. And then, in order to preserve the building, because of how impressive the architecture was, the Roman Catholic Church swooped in and was like, no, you're not gonna tear this thing down. I hereby declare it a church. And so that makes for a very interesting aspect of history as well. That, depending on who the Pope was at the time, occasionally you would have the Roman Catholic Church, of all things, coming in and protecting certain buildings. Meanwhile, on the flip side of that, you also have a completely different Pope deciding that the Colosseum was blocking the view of St. Peter's Basilica, the Vatican. So they tore down half the Roman Colosseum. So what remains today is like, oh, it's the part that wasn't blocking the view of the Vatican.